So good to see you all. And right away today, I wanted to introduce you to a new type of breath practice. So last week, if you remember, we did that belly breathing, that balloon breath. And this week, I wanted to introduce what's called the bumblebee breath. So I want you to think of what kind of sound a bumblebee makes, right? Something like, right? Yeah. So we're going to do that together, and I'll show it to you first, and then as you kind of get the hang of it, you're welcome to join in as you like. Remember that you're all muted, so don't feel embarrassed, right? You feel free to make as much noise as you'd like to, but let's take a really big breath in through the nose. Oop, I'm gonna let someone in. Marissa just came in. Hi, Marissa, welcome. We're getting started in our chair, okay? And we're starting off what's called bumblebee breath. So we'll take a really big breath in through the nose. And as I exhale, I make that bumblebee sound. Right? And it's kind of like humming, and it's kind of fun. And so we can do this with either lips sealed, so the lips together, or with the lips separate. Right? So I'll show you another way to do it. Take a really big breath in through the nose. Right, showing the teeth. So let's do that together. Keep the lips sealed. Take a big breath in through the nose. And then exhale, make that bumblebee sound. And let's do that again, but this time let's show our teeth so the lips are separate. Take a big breath in through the nose. Here we go. Good. Yeah, let's do that a couple more times. You choose lips together or closed, and let's place our hands on the belly. Take a really big breath in. Good. And then lift your hands and place them on your chest. Yeah, inhale through the nose. And maybe you felt that a little bit in your chest. Let's try one more area of the body. Place your hands on top of your head, and maybe you can feel that buzzing in the head. Yeah, take a really big breath in through the nose. Good. And actually, let's do one more time. Let's take our fingers and place them just under the eyes, kind of like on the cheekbones, on the cheeks. Yeah. Take a full breath in. Maybe you feel that there as well. Release your hands down. Now you're welcome to stick with those bumblebee breaths. Right, but let's see if we can keep our head where it is and begin to exercise our eyeballs. So keep your head where it is, but turn your eyeballs over to one side. So I'll begin to gaze towards the right side of my room. Just kind of see what's over there, keeping the head straight. And then gaze forward. And then shift the eyeballs over to the left. I'm going to let Abby in here. Good. Hi, Abby. We're getting started in a chair. Welcome, welcome. And then come back through center, so gaze forward. Keep your head where it is and turn your eyes over to the right again. So we're just beginning to exercise, warm up all of our muscles. And then gaze in front of you. And gaze over to the other side. So for me, that's to the left, and kind of like see what's over beside me, maybe a little bit back behind me. Let's do that one more time. Gaze in front of you. And then gaze over to the right. Good. And then gaze in front of you and over to the left. Right, so the eyeballs maybe are a little bit more warmed up. Gaze forward. Now let's turn the head. So turn your head off to one side. And you might notice, right, that you can see a little bit more from this side of the room than you could when your head was forward. Right, and then just gaze in front of you, turn the head forward, and then turn your head to the other side. So for me, that's to the left, and I'm just kind of sensing into what I see, the color on the wall, the door, and I've got some plants over here. And then turn forward, and let's do that again. So shift your gaze, shift your head off to one side. For me, it's the right. And then turn the head forward and turn the head to the left. Right, so just warming up through the neck. And then turn forward and see if you can drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Yeah, so sending a little bit of love to all these parts of our body that maybe don't get too much attention in our everyday life, right? You might feel a little stretch on the left side of your neck. Yeah, sometimes it can be helpful just to touch where you feel that stretch. And then gaze forward and other side, so left ear down towards your left shoulder, best you can. Right, try to be really gentle, so not yanking, not pulling at the body, but nice and gentle. And then head forward and one more time. So right ear towards your right shoulder, just finding it on the other side. Yeah, good. And then head forward and left ear to left shoulder. Yeah, just warming up through the neck. And then gaze forward, and from here, the hands can release down. And let's just shrug the shoulders up towards the ears, and then drop them down. Good. Inhale, lift the shoulders up. And as you exhale, drop them down. Good. A couple more like that. Lift the shoulders up and release them. Really nice work. How about two more? Inhale, shrug, and exhale, relax. Good. Last time. Inhale, lift those shoulders up, 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 and then exhale, let them go. Now let's do what we did last week, and now let's make big old shoulder circles. And if you want to incorporate the arms out, sometimes that can be helpful. If you'd like to have it more focused just on the shoulders, you can do that too. Yeah, and these can be really big, or these can be smaller, so feel free to make them your own, right? And if you like that bumblebee breath, it's kind of a tongue twister. Maybe you find that buzzing on the exhale. If you've only been going in one direction, go the opposite direction too. Good. Yeah. Take a really big breath in. So nice. I love seeing everybody's variation. It's so nice. And one more big breath out. And then just release the hands down. Good. Let's see if we can take a really big breath in. And as we do that, stretch the arms forward and up. Good. Seeing if we can sync up with all of our classmates. Exhale, lower the hands down. Good. Nice work. Let's continue like that. Inhale, arms up. And then maybe that buzz breath, that bumblebee breath. Good. Let's try that again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, maybe bumblebee breath. One more. Inhale, arms up. So lovely, everybody. And then exhale, hands down. Good. Last time. Inhale, arms up. And then this time, let's add on a little bit. Can you drop your right hand down? Maybe find the seat of your chair, the leg of your chair. And then reach that left arm up a little bit higher and then over towards the side of the room. Good. So this is a side body stretch, right? You might feel a little bit of sensation on the left side of your waist. Take a really big breath in. And a really big breath out. Nice work. Inhale, arms high overhead. So warming up the shoulders, right? You might feel this a little bit. Exhale, left hand down to the seat of your chair, the leg of your chair. And then reach that right arm up and overhead. Side body stretch. Good. Really lovely. Take a full breath in. And a full breath out. Inhale, arms high overhead. And then exhale, find that baby back bend or that open book. So bend the elbows really wide. Think an open book. Good. Inhale, arms come high overhead. Exhale, baby back bend. Think open open book. Good. One more time like that. Inhale, lift the arms up. Good. Exhale, bend the elbows wide. Keep them like this. Take a really big breath in. And as you exhale, let's close our book. So bring the elbows and the hands in front of you. Good. Yeah. Inhale, open your book. Exhale, close your book. And again, if you like doing that bumblebee breath, you can do it on the exhale. Inhale, open. And exhale, close. One more. Inhale, open. Exhale, close your book. Good. Release the arms down, shake them out. All right, I know that's a lot of time to have the arms lifted, the shoulders lifted. So maybe you felt that a little bit in the arms. From here, let's make some gentle fists with the hands and just begin to circle out through the wrists. All right, so we're just taking a little bit of time to warm up all of these parts of our body, right? The eyeballs, the neck, the shoulders, the hands. And if you've only been going in one direction, now is that invitation to go in the opposite direction. So lovely. Nice work, everybody. Good. And then from here, let's begin to flick our fingers. So again, this sensation that maybe you just washed your hands and there's no towel there. And so you're trying to flick off all that extra water. And this can be fast or this can be slow. Yeah, but we're just, yeah, awesome. I love seeing everybody how you choose to move, what speed you choose to move at. Take one more big breath in. And then exhale, release. Good. From here, take your right arm and stretch it across your chest. The left hand will find that elbow. Yeah, and just kind of stretch out the arm. Good. Yeah, take a really big breath in. And a big breath out. And let's just switch to the other side. So just switch sides. Right, stretching out the opposite arm, the opposite shoulder. Really nice work, everybody. Take a full breath in. And a full breath out. Good. And then from here, can you give yourself a big old hug? So bring hands maybe on opposite arms or shoulders. Yeah. And keep hugging yourself, but just begin to twist from side to side. So see if you can keep your feet reaching down towards the floor and just kind of twist the shoulders, the upper body from side to side. Good. Awesome. A couple more and you can move your head with you or you can gaze more forward, right? Be careful of maybe getting a little bit dizzy. One more big breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to twist off to one side and release the arms down, right? So one hand will come back behind you towards the back of the chair and maybe one hand towards the forward knee. Finding a seated twist, right? So twisting the body to one side. Take a really big breath in right here. And a big breath out right here. Nice work. From here, just turn the body forward and twist the other direction. Good. Yeah. Take a full breath in right here. And a full breath out right here. Good. And then turn forward. And from here, let's take that left hand and bring it on the right arm or right shoulder and just give ourselves a gentle massage, some gentle squeezes, right? Just like we did last week, right? So just a gentle, nice massage down the arm. And eventually make your way down to each finger best you can. Yeah, so just giving yourself gentle squeeze or little pats. Now let's try that on the other side, right? So take that opposite hand for me, that's right hand onto my left arm. And again, just sending it a little bit of love. Some really gentle squeezes, gentle massage, maybe all the way down through the hand, into the fingertips. Good. Awesome. And once you feel ready, just Rest your hands down. Good. If you haven't yet, I'd like you to scoot forward in the seat of your chair so that you're more towards the edge of your chair. Good. And I'd like you to see if you can sit up nice and tall. Good. Can you bring your arms out and then bend the elbows like that open book position? Good. Awesome. Very good. Can you keep your hands like that and widen the feet out a little bit? Bring your heels in and your toes out. Good. And this is called goddess pose. It's also called horse pose. Yeah, so you might feel as if you could sit up a little bit taller, be really open through the chest. Yeah, beautiful. Take one more big breath in right here. And one more big breath out. From here, release those hands down. And then bring the feet closer to one another. So probably more or less how they were before. From here, can you reach your arms forward and up? This is our chair pose in a chair. Yeah. So we're activating through the legs a little bit more. Yeah, take a really big breath in right here. And as you exhale, can you bring your hands down to the seat of your chair? Press off of the seat of your chair and come to standing. Ooh! Right? Can you rise up to standing? Good. Yeah, excellent. Very good. Okay, so from here, now that we're standing, we're going to use our chair, but I'm just going to move my chair a little bit and turn it so the back of the chair is towards me so that I can hang on to the back of my chair for a little bit more support and balance. Good. And so you might choose to stand with one hand on the chair. You might like to face the chair and have both hands, right? I'm just going to do with one hand so that I can face towards you, but you're welcome to do either way, one hand or both hands, okay? Awesome. And from here, what I'd like us to do is really simply begin to hover one heel off the floor. And then lower that heel down and try it on the other side. So we're kind of breaking down how we walk, right? Hovering one heel and then lower it. And then make your way back to the other leg. Hover the heel and lower. And then switch sides. Hover the heel and lower. Good. Couple more times like that. Hover one heel and exhale, lower it. Inhale, hover the heel and exhale, lower it. Good. From here, let's do the opposite. So keep the heel down. Can you lift the toes up? This one might feel a little bit more complicated, right? Release those toes down, switch feet, and hover the opposite toes. Good. And we'll just do that a couple times, right? Shifting the weight from foot to foot, hovering the toes as best as you can. All right, so we're beginning to work a little bit on our balance, a little bit more on strengthening our legs, right? Because now we're standing, no longer seated. Let's just do this a couple more times. You might feel this gentle stretch in the back of the legs somewhere. Good. And then come to standing. Beautiful. And from here, keep one hand on the chair, both hands, and let's just begin to lift one foot. And then set it down and lift the other foot. Yeah. And settle it down. And now you get it, right? Just lifting one foot and lowering it. Lifting the opposite foot. Yeah, we're just kind of checking out our balance for the day, right? Because balance tends to change from day to day, right? So just kind of sensing in with what we're working with, working on our balance, which is a really good skill to have. Good. And then come back through center. Beautiful. And from here, I'd like you to bring your hands into the front of your legs and see if you can begin to tighten that part of your body a little bit. So you might feel like the kneecaps lift up closer. And then bring the hands back behind you and see if you can tighten through the bum a little bit. Good. Awesome. And then bring one or both hands back to your chair. Keep these legs really strong. Inhale, sweep one or both arms overhead. Good. And then exhale, slowly release one or both arms down beside you. Good. Let's see if we can do this with our classmates. So inhale, arms sweep wide and high. Yeah, there we're in sync. And exhale, lower the hands down towards the hips. A couple more times. So inhale, lift on up. And again, if you like that bumblebee breath, you can do it on the exhale. And exhale, lower your hands on down. Beautiful. If you feel really balanced and you've only been doing one hand, maybe now you try both hands. Good. Look at that. Yeah, exhale, lower your hands on down. Really nice work, everybody. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, sweep the arms high overhead. Good. Exhale, lower your hands on down. How about let's do one more. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands down. Good. Beautiful. From here, option to keep one or both hands on the seat of your chair. Can you lift your right foot off the floor just a little bit? And can you begin to twirl out through that ankle? So make circles with that ankle, right? So now we're really balancing on this left leg, right? And if you've just been going in one direction, can you go in the other one too? So good. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, just come back to standing, right? Maybe shake that out, that balanced foot, right? If maybe you felt that a lot. Good, and let's just switch sides. So shift the weight into the right foot, hover the left foot up a little bit, the knee can bend, and then just twirl through that ankle. Yeah. Awesome. And if you're just going in one direction, see if you can go in the other direction as well. Beautiful. And once you feel ready, just come back to standing, maybe shake out that standing leg. Beautiful. Okay. From here, let's add on a little bit. So sweep your right arm out. This will give you a little bit more counterbalance, so it'll be easier to balance. Shift your weight into your left leg and see if you can bend the right knee and hover the right foot up. Good. Remember that one or both hands can still be on your chair. Think about growing up a little bit taller through the top of your head. Take one more big breath in. So good, everybody. And exhale, just release that, right? Shake it out as needed. And now that we kind of know that, let's do it on the other side. So from here, I'll shift my weight into my right leg. Maybe bring that arm out. And then bend the left knee and hover the left foot up. And so I think about growing up a little bit taller, right? As if my head could reach up closer towards the ceiling or the sky. Awesome, beautiful. Take one more big breath in right here. And as you exhale, release that foot down. Good. Let's add on one more thing before we switch gears, okay? So one or both hands on the chair. Option to bring a hand out. Let's shift the weight into the left foot, bend the right knee, hover the right foot. Good. And then can you open that knee towards the side of the room and find tree pose, bringing the toes down towards the floor or maybe in towards an ankle. Knowing that one or both hands can be on the chair for added support. But just like a tree, you might be really big and still, or maybe you flow a little bit, right, in the wind. That makes balance a little bit harder, but that's good for the body, right? It's good for the body to work on balance. Take one more big breath in. Yeah, I love all those trees I see. And then exhale, let it go. Shake it out as needed, right? Okay, last side. So strong through the legs, right? From here, we'll switch sides. So for me, my right leg will be my balancing leg. Option to bring a hand out. Bend the left knee, lift the left foot. See if you can open that knee and either bring the toes down towards the floor or maybe bring the sole of the foot towards your ankle. Beautiful. Yes, such good balance. And again, you might stay still or you might flow in the wind a little bit. And maybe you feel all of those muscles, right? If you're flowing in the wind, working to keep you balanced, right? Awesome. Love all the different trees I see here. Take one more big breath in right here. And then exhale, shake it out. Good. Release that. Really nice work. How are we doing? Are we still thumbs up? Are we still okay? We still okay? Awesome. Okay. So from here, I'm going to have you move your chair, but not too far. You can move it off of your mat, but we will use it later in class, but just not right now. And from here, as fast as you know how, we're going to come down onto our mat. So lower all the way down. Good. And from here, I'm going to have you come to your elbows and your knees today. So just a little bit different than last time. This is tabletop pose, but instead of being on the hands and the knees, we'll be on the elbows and the knees. So you'll see that my shoulders are just over my elbows, right? And my hips are just over my knees. And from here, I want to feel really rooted through the parts of my body that are touching the floor. Right, and then let's take a big breath in and find cow pose. So drop your belly down, lift your butt up and lift your chin up as best as you can. And as you exhale, find cat pose, think Halloween cat. So puff up your upper back and hug your chin in towards your chest. Inhale for cow, drop your belly down, lift your bottom up, lift your chin up. And exhale, cat pose, right? Really sending your back up, up, up towards the ceiling. Inhale for cow, drop the belly down, lift the heart, lift the tail. And then exhale for cat pose, rounding the spine. Let's do that 2 more times. So breathe in for cow, really warming up through the spine. And then breathe out for cat pose. One last time, inhale for cow, drop belly, lift bottom, lift chin, and exhale, cat pose, really arching through the spine. And then from here, come back to that sort of neutral position, so that tabletop pose on your elbows. And from here, as best as you can, I'm gonna have you slither all the way down onto your belly, the tops of your legs, but see if you can keep your elbows under your shoulders. So this is a new shape for us. This one is called Sphinx, right? And maybe you've seen a picture of that Sphinx pyramid in Egypt, right? Kind of like that cat, right? With a cool crown. That's the shape that we're finding. So again, you'll see kind of like before, my shoulders or just under my elbow or just above my elbows. My legs are stretched out really long back behind me. And if it feels okay in your neck, you might begin to lift your gaze up a little bit, lift your chin up a little bit. Take a really big breath in right here. And a big breath out right here. Now see if you can stay on your elbows, but can you bend one knee and hug that heel in towards your back? So we're working on strengthening that hamstring, the back of that bent leg a little bit. See if you can really hug the heel in, right? Sometimes I like to imagine that I have a lemon back behind my knee and I'm trying to squeeze all that juice out of it. Take one more big breath in right here. Good work. And as you exhale, let that leg be long back behind you, and let's bend the opposite leg. So imagine you have an orange or a lemon behind the knee and you're trying to get all of that juice out of it, right? By bending the knee and hugging the heel in towards your back. One more full breath in. And then exhale, release that leg long back behind you. And now that we know that, let's do that a couple more times. So inhale, bend one knee and hug the heel in. Good, and then exhale, release it. Switch to the other side. Inhale, bend the knee, hug the heel in. And exhale, release it. One more time each side, and then we're done with this, okay? So inhale, bend that knee. Good work. And exhale, release it. Final one, inhale, bend the opposite knee. And exhale, release it. Let's come into crocodile pose, right? So lower the chest down, place the palms on top of one another, and then place the forehead on the palms. And if it feels okay, you might close your eyes. But see if you can relax the body. So you stay where you are. I'm just going to lift up for a little bit so I can see what you're up to. All right, just take a really big breath in here. And a big breath out here. And sometimes it can feel nice in our crocodile pose to maybe rock the forehead from side to side, right? Especially if maybe you have anything kind of heavy on the mind or you have a headache, right? Just sending a little bit of love to the forehead, right? Just kind of checking in with our whole body. And sometimes it can also feel nice to bend the knees and then sway the ankles from side to side, kind of like windshield wipers in a car, right? Just allowing the heels to sway off to one side and then off to the other side, but just letting this be really easy, right? More relaxed than our more active shapes. And then from here, right, let the forehead be still, let the legs be long back behind you. And from here, see if you can gently bring the hands down on the mat. And we'll begin to transition out of this. So press yourself up. You can come to tabletop pose on hands and knees. And now let's make our way to child's pose. So for child's pose, knees are wide towards the edges of our mat. The toes might come to touch, and then it's hips to heels, forehead down. Arms can be long. And we just breathe. If you like that feeling of the palms under the forehead, you can come back to that. Or even if you have a pillow handy, right? Sometimes it can be nice to allow the forehead to rest on a pillow or some other soft surface. But let's just hang out here for a couple rounds of breath. All right, so take a really big breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, maybe find that buzz breath. Right, kind of like you're humming. Take a really big breath in. And then exhale. One more full breath in. And then exhale. And from here, slowly rise back on up to hands and knees. Good. And now would be a good time to get some water, especially if you're thirsty, right? If you have a water bottle nearby, right? Cool. And then from here, let's take a seat. So as best as you can, make your way and find a seat. And I'll scoot a little bit closer so that you can see me a little bit better. Good. And as best as you can, see if you can bring the legs out long in front of you. It's okay for them to be bent. And let's see if we can bend that right knee, bringing the right foot on the floor. And then can you step that right foot over the left leg, over the extended leg? Good. And then twist your body to the right. So you might hug that front knee in towards your chest. Bring one hand back behind you. Good. Feel as if maybe you could grow an inch or two taller up towards the ceiling. So good. And then take a full breath in right here. And a full breath out right here. One more time like that. Let's breathe in. And breathe out. So good, everybody. From here, turn the body forward, straighten out through that bent leg, and just let it rest down. Let's try that on the other side. So bend the opposite knee, right, the left knee, and then step the left foot over the right leg and twist in the other direction, maybe hugging that front knee in towards the body a little bit, maybe gazing back behind you. But this idea, right, that you feel as if you could grow a little bit taller up towards the ceiling. So lovely, everybody. Take a really big breath in. And a big breath out. One more like that, full breath in. And full breath out. Good work. Let's turn to face forward. Straighten out through that bent leg. Good. Awesome. And then from here, we got to go get our chair again. So as best as you can, just make your way to standing, right? And grab your chair. And we're going to do some cool down poses, right? But we're going to use the support of our chair. So you might have the chair kind of at the center of your mat with the seat facing towards you. Yeah, taking your time to make your adjustments. If you like to grab some water, now would be a good time for that as well. I think I'll grab some. Good. Excellent. So from here, we're actually going to sit down on our mat and we're going to use the chair as support. Yeah, so something a little bit different. From here, if you have a hard chair and if you have a pillow or maybe a towel handy, you might just place a towel or a blanket or a pillow on the seat of your chair. I know some chairs already have a cushion, mine doesn't, so I'm just going to make it a little bit more cushiony, right? Good. So from here, I'll have you sit on the floor, cross-legged. So one ankle in front of the other, facing the seat of your chair. Yeah. I know, it's like, what are we doing with this chair? And from here, all you'll do is find a forward fold. And just like we did in crocodile pose, it's hand on top of hand, and then forehead down. So a couple of things here, right? If maybe the seat of the chair feels really far away, that's when you kind of grab whatever's handy, right? Maybe a pillow or two to bring the chair a little bit closer to you. If sitting cross-legged doesn't feel good on your ankles, maybe your knees, right? Maybe you sit out with the legs more in front of you or wide. But this is a more of a restorative yoga shape. So it's all about relaxing. It's all about letting the body relax. So the muscles aren't really working here, but we have the support of the mat and the floor underneath us, and also the support of the chair. And if you found that those bumblebee breaths were helpful, you might come back to them here, right? So it might be something like this, right? Breathing in through the nose. And then exhaling out bumblebee. Right at your own pace, breathing in and breathing out. Just like we did in our crocodile pose, right? The forehead can be still, or sometimes it can feel nice to rock the forehead from side to side. allowing your body just to feel really supported by the ground and the chair and any other sort of props or supports that you might have. Take one more big breath in right here. And one more big breath out right here. Now from here, begin to rise up on out of your fold. And if your legs are cross-legged, see if you can cross them in the opposite direction. All right, so currently my right ankle is in front, and I'm going to see if I can bring my left ankle in front. And then I'll really simply go back down into my fold. And we just do that so we stretch out the opposite side of the hips and the low back, right? You might be feeling this stretch there. We won't be here for too much longer. So if it's helpful, maybe you focus on the breath, maybe you add in your bumblebee buzzing. Or maybe you just simply relax and allow the chair and the ground to support you here. If you remember last week, we did our balloon, our belly breaths. You can always add those in here as well, maybe if you prefer those over the bumblebee buzzing. But the main goal is just to relax, right? As best as you know how. So as long as you're doing your best to relax, you are doing it exactly right. It's very, very difficult to mess this up or do it wrong, right? There's not really such a thing, which is really nice. Just about 30 more seconds before we transition out of this one. Take a really big breath in. And a full breath out. And then slowly, gently make your way out of this fold. So rise on up. Good. And from here, we're going to transition to what's called legs up the chair. So if you were here that first session, that's the same shape we did. So what we'll do is lay on our mat with our feet propped up on the chair. All right, so this one can be a little bit funky to get into, but just as best as you can, right? There's no real right or wrong way to do it. But you lift the feet up and lower the back down. And this is when it might be nice to place something soft on the seat of your chair. In the back of your head and shoulders and hips and arms are resting down on the ground. So either on your yoga mat or a carpet or something that is hopefully a little bit softer than a hard floor, right? And then again, this is still that type of yoga that's all about relaxing. So see if you can relax through the hips, the legs, the ankles, the toes. right? Your forehead, your jaw, your neck, your shoulders, your belly, all the way down the arms, all the way down the legs. And you're welcome to keep your eyes open. You're also welcome to keep your eyes closed. In fact, if you like closing your eyes, sometimes it can be nice to use your hands, sort of the bottom of the palms, and just gently place them over the eyes. You might try that. Right, or if you have something handy like a little washcloth or a little hand towel, you can always place that over the eyelids as well. If you prefer to keep your eyes open, that's absolutely fine as well. And then if you like that bumblebee buzzing breath, you might come back to that. If you like the balloon belly breath, you might come back to that. Maybe really simply, it's just allowing the body to relax, right? Really leaning into the support of the ground and the seat of the chair to keep you right here. Again, the main goal here is just to relax. It's just to breathe. So as long as you're doing that, you are doing it right. This shape can be a really nice shape if you've recently spent a lot of time on your feet. Maybe you've been walking a lot, or maybe after a difficult workout, right, at the gym or at home with your trainer, right? If your feet feel tired, this can just be a really nice way to invite a little bit more relaxation into the body, to the legs and the feet if they're tired. See if you can take a really big breath in through the nose. Then a full breath out through the nose. And moving really slowly and really gently and really carefully. Let's make our way out of this. So it might feel good to bend the knees and hug them up and in towards your body a little bit more. And from here, you might reach one arm overhead and then roll off onto that side of your body. So using that arm as kind of like a pillow. And then a little seat. Body, just press yourself on up and find a comfortable seat. And we've been seated a couple different ways. So you might be on your chair, you might be cross-legged. Right, today I'll end on my chair just to show you. But let's just find a comfortable seat and we'll finish together as a group. And then again, I'll open it up for any questions or comments. So you can be seated on the floor in your chair. Good. Excellent. And then place one hand over your heart and the other hand on top of that. And just take a moment, right? You might feel the rise and the fall of your chest as you breathe in and out. Right? You might even begin to feel the heartbeat just underneath the hands. Take a moment to give thanks to your body and all that it does for you. Gets you from place to place. Right? It does so much for us without us even having to really think about it. And then just take a moment to acknowledge all of your efforts, your physical efforts, your mental efforts for being here, for trying something new. It's always so nice to spend this time with you. Thank you so much.